Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy, Golden Falls, Golden What Ifs, whatever you want to call me. And I'm back. This is What If Deku had a Phoenix Quirk, the finale. And if you enjoy, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. As always, please check the link in the description. I have a Discord, so if you want to come and check out, hang out, whatever you guys want to do, you can definitely do that. And yeah, I don't got much else to say. I just want to get into the finale because we got quite a bit to talk about and quite a bit to go through. So let's get it. Izuku Midoriya is about to take his next step into his hero journey. The next step into his hero journey is getting his provisional hero license. And frankly, Izuku is known worldwide by this point. All the videos, all the footage of All Might and all that stuff, they had one person that was all centered around it, and that was Izuku Midoriya. Izuku was the center and the front of all of everything that occurred, and we obviously know what happened in that instance and what happened to everybody that was more or less involved, and Izuku was in the forefront of it all. So everybody's thinking, and everybody knows who Izuku is, and to the point where he is kind of in a way famous, but not to the point where, like, you know, he's gonna be crowded by a bunch of people. But everybody knows who he is, so when they go to the provisional hero license exam, everyone thinks that they're gonna have a bit of a leg up on Izuku, saying and thinking that, well, oh, we're gonna be able to handle Izuku easy peasy, because guess what? We've already seen what he can do. We already know what he can do, and we already have a good idea of just everything that he's capable of. But what they don't know is that Izuku Midoriya is so much stronger now than you could possibly imagine. So much stronger. And everybody, well, they would realize that really quickly, because when all of the provisional hero licensing exam would begin, well, everybody would come toward Class 1A thinking they have an inherent advantage over Class 1A. But they don't. It seems like UA is a target because of, you know, the whole UA sports festival and stuff like that. But it seems like quickly they would realize that this advantage isn't that much of exactly what they were saying. Because Izuku begins to outmaneuver, outspeed, and outdo every single person who thinks that they are going to take Izuku down. He would easily handle himself and get his tags that he needs to basically pass on to the next part of the exam. But during this time, he also helps his teammates, massively just getting a ton of people gathered up so his teammates can eliminate them as well. And Izuku would support his teammates to his fullest degree, at least to as much as possible, until it's the very end. Until basically this part of the exam is finished off and over. Now, with all that said though, Izuku would be going into this next exam with a little bit more of an open mind, because this is a rescue-like portion of the exam. They're going to be flying around, going around, and trying to save people, and Izuku's main job for himself personally is to scout. He grabs a map and makes kind of a casing of the entire area and locates every single person that is basically in danger. And he brings heroes and tells heroes where to go, and this would elevate his score massively. Everybody thinking that, hey, this is a great idea for a kid who can fly around and stuff like that. And it's very reminiscent of another hero by the name of Hawks. And not that Hawks is, you know, amazing at doing recon, or not that he's not amazing at doing recon, but Hawks doesn't normally use his power for this specifically. He's very showboaty. He's very glamorous in a way, and everybody thinks he's so amazing, so awesome, so cool. But Izuku's using it very tactically. He's thinking and looking at everything you could possibly think of, and you would find just everybody that needs help from here and there and here and there, and everybody would basically get to safety because of Izuku's amazing scouting. And he would continue doing this, helping people, lifting strong or heavy things, and doing different things that really need to be done, right? He's extremely powerful, extremely strong physically, so he's no joke. Like, he's definitely no pushover in terms of that department as well. So If he wants to help in that regard too, in terms of raw strength, he definitely can do that. But with all that said, we have up and coming villains coming very, very soon. And these villains are approaching with someone by the name of Gang Orca. Now, this isn't actual villains. This is a training, so the villains are fake. Gang Orca is also a hero. But still, this has to be taken very seriously. And immediately, two heroes or two students would kind of go up and conflict with Gang Orca. That would be Shoto Todoroki and Inasa. Inasa and him would try to mix their fire and wind, or really trying to use it separately, and it just won't mix well. It will bash against each other, and though they won't be able to control it properly. But before they could even get caught being kind of counterproductive in terms of not being able to use their powers together, Izuku would actually control both the fire and the wind in a kind of like tunnel-like format, wrapping around it and flying in circles around Gang Orca. This would force the wind and the fire to basically come together and make a flaming vortex. As Izuku is doing this though, he could feel a different sensation throughout his body, a different power. He doesn't understand what it is, and he's not sure where it's coming from, but as he basically stretches out to shoot more flames, he would shoot flames, but these flames would be different. These flames would be black, and it would be odd. He's wondering, what the heck, like, how does this even happen? How does he have black flames? But he would also think about, well, these things, these flames, what do they look like? They kind of look like All For One's black tendrils. And he's a little confused, but wonders if somehow he gained a little bit of the power that All For One held, well, when he turned him to ash, which he doesn't really know, but these black flames must be reminiscent of something and remnants of something. But still, he just overwhelms Gang Orca entirely, and when Gang Orca tries to even dissipate the fire itself, the black flames would be impossible to penetrate. It seems like the black flames would grow stable to the point where Gang Orca couldn't do a single thing until it was game over, until the study and this test was completely null and void, and Izuku would in one foul swoop get rid of basically all the flames, including his own, getting rid of them just poof instantly. In which Izuku wonders about how he's able to do stuff like this. I mean, this is even different. This is even more different. Izuku has never had this power in his life, not to this extent. He doesn't know what's happening, but he wonders that there must be more for him to do. There must be more power that is dormant within him, but he doesn't know specifically what that really is. Now, it doesn't really matter at this moment because he obviously passes this exam. So does Inasa, so does Todoroki, and also everybody in Class 1A, including Bakugo, by the way, because this version of Bakugo is a little bit more settled down, a little bit more taken back, and he's not an absolute idiot and just, a big mouth, just to these people and being rude and blah, blah, blah. No. This version of Bakugo is a lot more toned down, especially because, well, Izuku has been on him day in and day out, basically, about being a just trash person. So this would make him a better person in general, leading to all of them in Class 1A getting their Provisional Hero license, which is obviously really good. Getting their Provisional Hero license is something that is super important for the future of their hero work and the future of what's coming very soon, because that would include work studies and so on. And luckily they would get a bit of a presentation about work studies themselves, in which Izuku would be sitting there and he would see the big three enter. And Izuku is astounded by this, thinking that the big three is awesome. He studied them like crazy. He begins to point all of them out and even says their quirks, talking about Murio, talking about Nejire, talking about Tamaki. And as he basically talks about all these people, Nejire is extremely flattered by this. Murio is pretty impressed by it, but also Tamaki is extremely embarrassed by it. Just kind of the big three thing, in which Izuku would kind of just, continue going on, but Aizawa would tell him to tone it back just a little bit. He apologizes, and of course, Tamaki would be introduced first, saying like, oh yeah, he's going to go up and explain work studies, but yeah, Tamaki ain't gonna do that because has a fear of, people and stuff like that, so he doesn't do it. Nejire actually tries to start talking about work studies, but then gets distracted talking about Mina's like little horns, and then even asks Izuku if she can see his flaming wings, in which Izuku obliges, showing the wings once again, in which she thinks it's awesome to see, and has heard that he can actually manipulate different types of flames, in which Izuku would change his wings to actually these black-like flames as well, and in which she would try to start rambling on about how cool his powers are, but of course Aizawa would shut it down and say, okay, that's enough, like stop talking about random stuff, in which then eventually Murio would decide, okay, just everybody, you're gonna fight me, and then we're gonna see where you guys are at. In which this is an exciting time for Izuku, because Izuku's going to be able to try his power out against somebody like Murio. Something like, or someone that is basically going to be a potential top 10 hero in his first year of being a hero. And this is a test he wants to take on ASAP. And let's just say Izuku jumps the gun pretty damn quickly, because he begins trying to fight Murio immediately, not allowing his classmates to even try to get a touch in on Murio. He begins to clash with Murio, and it's obvious that Izuku has the speed and strength advantage, but Murio has some pretty damn good technique, so he does catch Izuku off guard. But every time he tries to punch Izuku, Izuku would actually counter and set his body basically ablaze, and injuring Murio for the most part, and making it so he's unable to actually counterattack, and they go into a bit of a stalemate. One and another can't really hit each other as well as they want to hit each other. So Izuku basically tries to overwhelm him with flames, trying to basically constrict him to a certain area, but eventually Aizawa would have to shut it all down, saying that Izuku is getting a little too passionate about what he's doing, and this is a good way to get some people hurt, so he needs to chill out and go do something else for now, and that this was a good display of what the Big Three is capable of, and is a good display of what they personally could be capable of in the near future, which Izuku is excited about hearing. And frankly, there's just nothing better than working with some of these high-level future heroes, especially when they're already part of the Big Three. Now, this would give Izuku an invitation to Sir Night-Eye. And Sir Night-Eye is a great mentor for Izuku here. And Izuku basically has a good time training, working hard, and even helping with a lot of the stuff that needs to get done, which mostly involves dealing with Overhaul. Now, Overhaul is a bit of an issue, and Overhaul is the leader of the Shiha Zaikai, and someone that is going to be very difficult to kind of rein in and or catch entirely. But of course, with Izuku's help and many others as well, they will definitely have a little bit of an advantage when trying to hunt him down. But Izuku, what Izuku doesn't understand is that he will stumble into Overhaul sooner rather than later, and he does it with Murio. They run into Overhaul where Eri, a little girl, is actually captured by him, and it's obvious that she is beat up and hurting, in which immediately Izuku questions and wonders what he should do. Should he attack him now? Should he stop this ASAP? But there's a lot of information that they're gonna lack if he does this, so he doesn't know what to do. He's tempted to be rash. He's tempted to just go in, but Murio looks at him and basically tells him, hey, don't do it. Don't do it. Be patient. And this is good information that we needed, information that we truly weren't going to have for a long time. So it's good to have something in this direction. So they eventually let him leave. They actually let him leave, which Izuku is not happy about by any means. Izuku is pretty damn pissed by this, but hey, it's a choice and something that they decided on doing. But I mean, there's going to be consequences no matter what, and they hope to limit those consequences as much as possible. And this would lead them to an invasion of the Shiha Zaikai base, and the Shiha Zaikai base is a very difficult basically base to raid. But during this time, there's actually rumors of this monstrous creature in the mountains. This creature that seems to be laying dormant, but it continues to slowly but surely stir, as if it's waking up slowly at that. But Izuku actually goes on a bit of a mission with a couple others to check out what this is all about. And this is right before the raid of the Shihazaikai base. As they arrive, they can feel the mountain stirring. They can feel the mountain quaking, and they wonder, what the heck is that thing truly? And they wonder, what can they do to basically get this thing out of there? But Izuku flies over and he reaches his hand out. He can feel something. He feels that there is some sort of connection with him and this creature, and as the creature would feel the presence of Izuku Midoriya, he would come out and he would sit right in front of Izuku, as his hand would be placed right on the head of Gigantomachia. It seems that the ashes of All For One being embedded within Izuku is doing different things than anybody could possibly imagine. And it seems like this person, this creature, was once a pet of some sort or a loyal servant to All For One. In which Izuku looks at the people that are with him, people like Gran Torino and also some other people as well, and he would say that this is something that they should think about. The Shihazaikai base, well, they may need his help. In which there's a question on if they really should do that, if they really should use Gigantomachia for help. And initially they don't. Initially they actually invade normally, but when the giant, like, basically person comes out of nowhere and puts up a hell of a fight, well, Izuku decides to summon Gigantomachia and would sick him on him, and this would change the lay of the fight almost instantly. Izuku would watch as Gigantomachia would more or less handle a ton of the outside work and the outside people or villains that are currently on the outside of the Shihazaikai base, and Izuku and Murio are able to scale through the base and eventually find Overhaul. Now this fight is a absolute crazy one, because Overhaul is throwing out all of the stunts he possibly can, trying to stop them permanently, trying to kill them. And eventually it is pushed on the outside as Izuku would send flames blasting Overhaul through a wall. As he gets blasted through the wall, Overhaul would see a giant monster, Gigantomachia. Overhaul would then sprint toward it and would immediately place his hand on Gigantomachia, telling the other two that this was the worst decision that they've ever made in their lives, as Gigantomachia would almost disappear, exploding into nothing as he is absorbed within Overhaul, and Overhaul grows in size massively and becomes extremely durable. Izuku would fly up toward Overhaul, saying that he just killed a creature that was doing nothing wrong, a creature that really didn't know right from wrong, and all he knew was one thing. All he knew was control. All that creature knew was being told what to do, and he was okay with it. Izuku was using that creature, and it's sad to say it, but he was going to give that creature a better life than anybody could have given him, and now he took it away from him. Izuku would look at Overhaul as Overhaul would try and smack Izuku, but it seems like there's resistance. It seems like the creature that is within Overhaul is restricting him, not allowing him to actually fight Izuku, in which Izuku would find this to be humorous, thinking that, wow, it seems like even when the creature was absorbed, the loyalty still lies, and the loyalty is still to Izuku, in which Izuku tells Overhaul that he better get that creature and get Gigantomachia out of his body, because if he doesn't, then he thinks that some really bad things might happen to him, in which this would lead to Overhaul forcing himself to basically reassemble Gigantomachia and reassemble himself, getting rid of basically what occurred, or getting rid of Gigantomachia out of his body, leaving him massively susceptible to anything that was going to happen, and then eventually leading to the downfall of Overhaul, but also the capture and the kind of transition into hero of Gigantomachia. The downfall of Overhaul, and as everything in the Shihazaikai begins to spiral, it seems like Izuku's path to being a hero becomes more and more clear, and it seems like he's becoming even greater of somebody that is going to be a hero, but he's so much more than that. Now everybody can look at him as this giant beast whisperer, somebody who was able to kind of stop this giant creature from actually even going on a rampage of some sorts or anything like that. And Izuku can feel that his power just continues to grow, continues to expand, to the point where he continues throughout his hero journey, throughout schools, throughout year 1, year 2, into year 3. And as he transitions into more and more work and more hero work, as more is added to his plate, everybody in Japan begins to look at him as this second coming of the next great hero. As the wings on his back spread light upon this country, and as the wings on his back spread the light around the city, Izuku Midoriya gives hope to those who need it, gives hope to those who are looking for what they believe to be a savior and a rebirth of hero society. Without All Might being at the very top, with All Might losing his powers and slowly deteriorating into or out of the hero world, they're looking for a reawakening, a rebirth, and truly a revival of hero society. One revival that could truly save everybody forever. Stop crime in its tracks. And the wings that shine bright upon their cities from Izuku Midoriya seem to be pointing in the direction of that rebirth. Because Izuku Midoriya, he may be the embodiment of a phoenix, but even if he dies, and even if he reawakens, and even if he rises from the ashes, that's exactly what he plans to do. Rise Japan from the ashes of evil and also torment into a new era of peace. And that is the plan for Izuku Midoriya, and that's what everyone believes is going to happen. But that is the end of the story of What If Deku Had a Phoenix Quirk, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, that's all I really got to say. Please leave a comment if you have any suggestions for future what ifs, and if you have any suggestions for different animes that I would do what ifs on. I've been considering doing Naruto stuff, but I really got to refresh myself on Naruto stuff if I want to do it. So that's something that I'll think about, but also something I will have to really figure out if I'm going to do or not. And if I do Naruto stuff, I'm not going into Boruto. It is going to be strictly Naruto and then Naruto Shippuden. That's just how it's going to be. I'm not touching Boruto. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.